So this time around for the journey, Tara Fellows sits opposite me in the studio, and we've heard from all different people in business and behind different charities. They've all got their own story to tell, but we always start, Tara, obviously identify you as you're the president of Restart Albury Wodonga. 2AY have been happy to give you some funds recently, which is good to support the work that you're doing. And before we talk more about that and your life there, obviously we start with your ties to Albury Wodonga usually to celebrate, people that are proud locals. Were you born in Albury Wodonga or did you move here?
No, I was born in Brisbane. I'm an army child, but my mum was born in Albury and so was my dad. And you could base it as my mother's side is Wodonga and my dad's side is Albury.
Oh, the ultimate rivalry.
Yes, so we're like Wodonga Bulldogs, Albury Tigers. But then my mum's side's quite well known in Wodonga, we're the Kriegs, and my dad's side they were a part of the Botanical Gardens.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
When did you come back to Albury Wodonga?
That was when we were grade 4, 1996.
Yeah. And where did you go to school?
I went to 13 schools,
Oh, wow.
but I graduated from Catholic College in Wodonga.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about Restart Albury Wodonga. For those that haven't heard of what you do, how long have you been operating and what is it that you aim to do each year?
So it's been operating since 2016 officially, and I took it on in 2017. And what we aim to do is provide the basic household items to people that have been through a crisis.
So what sort of things would you determine as a crisis?
Where they can't afford to buy those items to start off again. So they've been given a house, and considering that it's quite expensive to move into a house, we just reduce that stress of buying the essential items.
So how does it work? Do they come to you themselves and ask for the assistance, or have you got a network of other support organisations that know to contact you for those goods?
Yeah, so they have to be through a service, one because they're going through a crisis, they need some support, and also that we're trusting in the professionals to make that judgment that they need this item.
Okay. And then is it delivered there at the house ready for them to go before they even move in, or what's that sort of moment like when somebody who's in crisis receives that help?
Yeah, so I give it to the service just to reduce that privacy and their dignity. I give it to the service and they deliver it to them, and then the services always give feedback on their facial expressions and how they were extremely grateful for what has been given.
So really you're doing something that's fairly faceless in terms of you give a lot of time, I'm assuming, to Restart Albury Wodonga, but you don't actually get to see the final benefit and how it changes their life. What's that feel like?
I just think that it's keeping that person's dignity, but our community supporting you. That's all I care about.
What keeps you volunteering? It's obviously a volunteer role. Why do you keep doing it?
Because I know exactly how it feels to not have something and want that bit of help. Yeah. But also that I'm helping someone. It's not just a household item. You've given someone a toaster to make toast for their kids, or you've given someone a tong to flip their sausages. It's not just items. It's more to that. It's the love. Yeah.
So when you say you know what it's like not to have any of that, are you happy to talk a bit more about that? Or? Yeah. So what's your background? You've obviously come through some adversity yourself and maybe been at a crisis point yourself before. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I am an army child, so constant moving all through my life, and that's packing and then starting again and everything. So that's just that homelessness sort of feel. That's just what you did when you're an army kid. You got up and you moved. But when I became a teenager, I chose to leave the family home. And so I was 15 years old and I had to start there. Didn't even think about it. I was just homeless. And then I went and got into a relationship and broke up with the partner of my children and became homeless again. And no help. I got no help from anyone and I had to start again. And that was watching my kids' faces when I couldn't even have them in my home because I had no fridge. Broke my heart.
What do? You decide to leave home as a 15-year-old. First night, you're out in the dark. You say yourself, you've essentially made just the decision that home wasn't the right place for you at that point in time in your life. What do you do?
I did silly things. I drank. Yeah, I got someone to buy me some alcohol to numb it out. Stupid decision. Yeah. Stupid when I think about it now. Yeah, but you you were just in this constant cycle of fight or flight. You just went to one house, you tried to get to this person's house, you tried to stay in their house, then you couldn't stay there any longer, so you went to another person's house, and then you went here, and you didn't ask for help. You didn't ask for anyone. School knew about it. They helped me. They fed me. But no, you just keep going.
And so do the people that you're staying with, is that something you open up about and say, hey, I've got no home at the moment. Can I stay for a couple of nights? Or how does that sort of happen?
Just friends. You just made friends with people so you could stay at their house. Pretty, I don't know, out there. But you just make friends with people. Yeah. I'm still friends with them today. Yeah. But you just said, can I stay here tonight? Like it was a friend's sleepover.
Let's fast forward a little bit to now. What changed in your life? What made you go from being homeless, it sounds like twice? I'm assuming you consider yourself to be on your feet now and comfortable. How do you go from one extreme to the other?
So not living in a poor me attitude. So wanting to make a difference, knowing that your life isn't this, is making a better life for yourself. I have 3 children that need to look up to me, and I had to make those changes. I was just going to go round and round in circles and be a typical person, just, living off Centrelink, living off $11 a fortnight. I didn't want it anymore. And I wanted to show my kids that you've got to work hard for what you get. That doesn't matter what card you've been dealt, you work hard and you get it.
Very inspiring, because I'm sure, and I know your work now is in that sort of community health sort of service area, but you would have no doubt, say birds of a feather flock together. If you're going through those sorts of emotions, those thoughts, those feelings as a homeless person, and you are trying to buck the system or whatever it is you're trying to do when you are in those dire straits, you would have no doubt known others and become friends with others that were in similar situations.
Yeah. Because I was 15 and I was sort of in a different sort of friends group. I sort of wanted to attach to people, but then I didn't want people to feel sorry for me as well. So there was friends that I did keep, and we just sort of got through it together.
And have they all got a similar story to you now, or are some of them still, as you said, in that circle?
Not really. No. Everyone's got their own, mindset. I just flipped my mindset. I had to.
What led you to flip it? Was it some advice that came from somebody else, or something you read or saw? Or how do you switch off and switch over between two completely different mindsets?
Yeah. Breaking point. It was my breaking point. I was living in a cabin that Beyond Housing had got for me due to being homeless. My children had been taken from their dad because I was living in an unsafe environment and wanted to end my life, and I flipped. I said, nah, can't do this anymore. Can't do this. What am I going to show my kids if I just give up? So I changed and got a house within a week.
How old were your kids at this point in time?
So 1 and 2.5.
Yeah, okay. So
yep.
Quite, I guess, no knowledge of what's happening around them at all at that
nothing.
age.
No.
Now that you've obviously got something to focus on as a volunteer and helping others, even though it now makes perfect sense as to how you stay motivated. It'd be silly for me to say, how do you stay motivated to keep volunteering when you've shared with us nothing more than your own experience can motivate you stronger. Do you get any spare time? Like, do you find that there's moments that you get to enjoy yourself and be thankful of, I guess, the decision change and your mindset change?
At this point, no. I have no spare time whatsoever, not even on weekends. But when I do, and I'm prioritising my family at this point because I still got children and I still want to be an active part of their life, not just mum's working, mum's restart, mum's doing this. I enjoy my weekends. I love getting into my garden. My kids helping me with the garden, and just doing fun things, watching movies with the kids. That's my spare time. Yeah, probably on a Sunday. That's about it.
Are you a very philosophical person, like a quote-driven person? Is there any advice or any quotes that you've heard along your journey in life, or someone shared something with you and you thought, that's a good one, I'll keep that and use that every time I make a decision?
So I've got 2. I've made one up myself.
Oh,
yes,
nothing
that's how
better
philosophical I am.
Yeah.
Don't be typical, just be awesome. So that's not succumbing to your own life and what's happened in your life. It's, change it, use it. Use what's been given you and make something great of yourself. And also follow that fire burning in your belly of what your passion is. Doesn't matter what it is, it's your passion. And Xavier Rudd, just let it go.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Can't change it. No point in stressing
What
over
will be,
it.
will be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Que Sera as well, Doris Day. That's the one. Do you have any regrets in life? Like, do you regret leaving home when you're 15?
No. I used to live in a world filled with regret, but it got me nowhere. So now if I reflect, everything that's happened is made me who I am today, and I'm helping people. So, no regrets. Except for smoking.
Yeah. Still smoke now? Or?
Shouldn't. But sliding that first one, silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your next challenge, perhaps.
Yes.
What's your greatest achievement in life so far, do you think?
My babies. Yeah, my children. Definitely.
Anybody who has been a parent can understand that feeling, can't they?
Most certainly.
What's the toughest decision you think you've ever had to make in life?
To go and work and study. Not be a part of that stay-at-home mum like everyone dreams to be, where you're at the every school concert and you're at everything. I'm working and I studied, and that was very hard. Still to this day, it's very hard. Yeah.
Does study come naturally to you? Were you a academic student despite the homelessness? Were you still able to focus at school and find...
I was illiterate. Yeah. I didn't read a book. I didn't know maths. I had one teacher sit down, and I'm still to this day will always be thankful to him. He sat down every day and taught me fractions. Still don't get them, but he sat down and gave me time. But no, I was not an educational person whatsoever. I taught myself how to budget and how to, fill out grants that I'm doing now, write an essay, all that. Taught myself.
And so when you studied or returned to study, was it harder?
Nah, I was a teacher's pet.
Always helps. You obviously had the desire to be there, whereas we don't always have a desire in a classroom environment as teenagers, do we?
I had too much going on. I had to worry about, what I was eating or, that sort of thing. But I was so passionate at my TAFE course. Anyone that studied with me will know that, and they'll say that I just found my love, in learning,
If you go back to the point when you became homeless for the first time, did you ever think you'd be where you are now?
Not at all. I had no idea where I was going. I knew that I wanted to do something, and I knew I wanted to be passionate about something, but I just didn't think about it. No, not at all. No idea. When I was a child, I wanted to be a fashion designer.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question is, as a kid, what was it like? You're getting, as an army child, changed and moved around all over the place with different postings for the family, but the desire then was fashion design. Have you come remotely close to ever trying it? Or?
No. The only closest thing I come to linen is Restart. Cotton? No.
Now that you've had the experience you have had in life, what advice would you give perhaps a younger you, or perhaps even somebody now who's going through that similar process where they think, this home isn't right for me? What does hindsight tell you?
Trust your gut. Always trust your gut. And it's all worth it in the end. If you trust your gut, it'll be right.
So you think apply that to every single decision in life?
Yeah. If you're in tune with yourself, If you're not, if you have no idea what's going on or whatever, we all have an intuition though. So stick with that.
Is there anything you'd do differently if you had your time over again?
No, I wouldn't be here today.
It's good that you stopped to recognise that.
Yeah, I had to.
People hear your story, and it's one that not many will relate to. The stats are there, plenty of homelessness. But a lot of people are fortunate enough to be comfortable where they are.
Yep.
Your story gets to the world, goes to the big screen. There's a movie about your life, Tara Fellows. Who would play you?
I would love to say Melissa McCarthy. I would love to say that because she's or Rebel Wilson, just because we've got the same sense of humour. Because it has to be funny. Like it couldn't be serious at all or emotional. It'd have to be funny. And
do you think your sense of humour is maybe what's got you to where you are today? Like have you always laughed at bad situations?
I've always been awkward and a clown. Always. Yeah, definitely.
So a sense of humour is the secret to success, perhaps. What song would feature on the soundtrack of your life, Tara? Is there a song that you think when it comes on the radio or it's playing in a movie soundtrack or something and you go, geez, that sums it up, doesn't it?
This girl's on fire. Every time I hear it, I'm like, yes.
That's me. I'm motivated.
I've got the kids singing it now. Yeah.
Have you done much travel over your time? Obviously, to find a home and obviously around Australia as the army posting. Have you had the chance to go overseas or anything like that?
I went for 24 hours to New Zealand. Yep.
And that was enough, or?
No, that's all I could afford. I don't have time.
Would you like to go and travel the world more and see how, I guess, disadvantaged people in different parts of the world are and what their challenges are in life?
I'd love to see where my family heritage came from. I'd love to see all that. I'm very, I don't know, it just feels like home or you're connected somehow. My sister lives overseas. She's been overseas pretty much since I was a little child. I'd love to go and see her more, but I don't know, I love Australia. I want to see Australia before I see anything else.
Yeah, good attitude to have. So with that said, if you could be anywhere in the world tomorrow with no restrictions, where would you be? Who would you have with you?
I would be on my couch watching Outlander by myself. That's all I want to do. I just want to know. I've got 2 episodes to go. That's all I want to watch. And not do anything. Be in my trackies. Yeah. That's it.
It's the simple things,
just
isn't it?
Simple. Yeah. I'm too busy.
Well, Tara Fellows, it's been an absolute pleasure to hear a little bit more about your backstory. For anybody that would like to support what you're doing with Restart Albury Wodonga, I know you recently had a linen drive, which you've now got a semi-trailer load of linen. So before we started filming this, you said you've got enough linen now. Is that right, to last you for a couple of years?
Yeah. I probably have a semi-trailer load of linen.
Yeah,
there's a lot. A lot.
If anyone wants to help out, what can they do?
Check out our Facebook page. I've always kept that up to date on what we're running low on or what's needing. And we have our drop-off points. If you have anything that's on the list under donate items, just drop it off to one of our lovely drop-off points in Albury Wodonga.
Restart Albury Wodonga, and Tara Fellows, the president. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us today.
Thank you for having me.